Greetings and welcome everyone to this brief introduction to the right spot. It's one of those classes that you saw in D2L that you were quote unquote enrolled in, right? It will show up on your class list here and down at the bottom of your page in D2L. And maybe you didn't know what it was. And so we'll talk a little bit about what that is and how you can make use of it as you move forward in your college career. Before we take a look at it, and technically we're already in it, but before we get started, I do want to just quickly go down here to highlight that you can access all of the South Central College tutoring in every single one of your classrooms in D2L by just clicking on this link. It's located a number of other places to work directly with the tutor via Zoom, whether that's for your math, science, writing, really just about any class. While we don't specifically advertise for every class at SCC, that would be the first step to connecting with our tutors and really figuring out how we can best support you. Whether that's one-on-one directly or connecting you with some of our partners. So let's talk really quickly about the right spot. Like I said, it's this class in your class list on D2L. Here is the home page. And as you'll see, because all students are enrolled in this class when you start classes at SEC, we use it to give some just broad-ranging tutoring information and reminders via email, or also through notifications, right? This bell up here, these notifications within D2L. So you'll see things, just reminders about tutoring support, which is always important, and some other things that will get promoted, right? So D2L Pulse, I don't know if you've begun using that. If you haven't yet, I strongly encourage you to go into Google Play or the App Store, search for Brightspace Pulse, and begin using that. It's a great way to kind of keep track of all of your coursework that's inputted into D2L by your instructors all in one location, so you're not bouncing around between every different class as you do on the computer. So the right spot. Again, we use it for all the purposes I've kind of explained to you previously, but students also make use of it every day. Students are coming in here into the content area where there are many resources available. When you're working with our reading, writing, and study skills tutors, a lot of times they will point out resources that are located here in the content area, again, under materials and content, where you, for the most part, find content in all of your classes online. But this is, again, resources that are available to all students. You'll see there are quite a few here, right? 162 and counting. That might actually be a low number there. But you'll see it's categorized on the left-hand side in that table of contents, and you'll see how many different resources for each different area. You'll notice that many of them, especially at the top, are very writing intensive, right? Writing handouts, different aspects of the writing process. Documenting research is a big one. I know, many students will start out maybe coming from high school knowing MLA, or after they do composition, right? English 100 here at SEC. They'll become familiar with MLA, but then maybe they'll switch into a nursing or social work program and need to learn APA. Or they'll take a history class and need to learn to use Chicago. And so within documenting research, you'll see that all of the different citation styles are identified here, right? Including Chicago, AMA, etc. So there are lots of resources. Like I said, over 162. Basically, you can consider all of these as a refined Google search. So while you could look up information on any of these topics via any internet search, these are highly curated results, right? So we've gone through in talking with students and working with tutors, finding the pages that resonate most with the students who we're talking to on a regular basis, right? What citation generators are working the best for our students. And so some of these resources will change from one semester to the next, just depending on how individuals are responding to the content. Please note that not everything here is writing related, although, like I said, a lot of the early content here is. There's quite a bit of information on study skills, reading strategies. You'll see some public speaking tips and resources. There's a number of apps that students have found to be useful, whether that's for note taking or other studying apps, vocabulary builders. There's a lot here, and we're always adding more. Um, we're happy to take any suggestions that you have. Feel free to send those our ways. Right at the top of this list, something I didn't mention. Um, there's information on accessing tutor.com and using Grammarly. These are resources that are already available to all students, right? You have tutor.com hours that you already have access to just being a student. You have access to Grammarly Premium, which normally is, I think it's somewhere around $15 a month. So you have access to these resources. There's guidance here on how to use it. Of course, if you have any questions while you're trying to do this, I would refer you again to that tutoring Zoom room that's linked in the widget, from the homepage of all of your classrooms. Step on in, say, hey, I was trying to, get a biology tutor at midnight, right? How do I do that on tutor.com? And we can certainly walk you through that process. How do I set up Grammarly Premium? Again, the directions are there in the content page. But if you, again, come here, right here, this link, sorry, the page is bouncing around, but this link here, right, connect with SEC tutors on Zoom. Just click that link, and within a couple minutes, we will be helping you get that all straightened out. So again, a lot of information here in the right spot on D2L. Hopefully that gives you a better sense of what's there and how you might begin exploring some of those resources and using them. But for the most part, if you have any questions, you want to talk about them, come on in, talk to a tutor, and we will get you started on your path to success. With that, I will bid you adieu. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. Take care.